Mazuma TV back in the building, man. What's going on, y'all? Shout out to Mazuma Nation. Shout out to the Mazuma mob. I'm back with some more boxing talk. All right, y'all. Y'all know what I'm here to discuss. Initially, I made a video, but I was still caught up in the moment, still hype. You know what I mean? You know, being a prisoner in the moment, my emotions all over the place. My thoughts was all over the place. But now that I got time to really settle down and just let things just marinate, I'm here with my post-fight reaction to Terence Crawford stopping Errol Spence in the 9th round. I was wrong again, man. I've been on and I'm usually more right than wrong. I don't know exactly what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I still stand by like my analysis and my breakdowns of Inoue and Fulton and, you know, Errol Spence and Terence Crawford. I just came out with the wrong victor. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You ain't gonna get it right all the time. And as difficult as a sport boxing is, you're gonna be wrong sometimes. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be shocked sometimes, and upsets are a part of the game. This wasn't necessarily an upset, but you're not always gonna pick the right person to win. You know what I mean? So that's just the reality of the situation. But really analyzing the fight, they just look totally like levels apart, man. Terence Crawford was just in a different mode. He was clicking on all cylinders tonight. This was one of Bud's best performances of all time. So much so that this looked like one of the easiest fights in Bud Crawford's career. You know what I'm saying? Like at 147, I thought he had more difficulties with guys like Jose Benavidez. I thought he had more difficult fights with Sean Porters of the world. He seemed like he had more resistance from a mean machine. You know what I'm saying? I just felt like those guys presented more like difficulties than Errol Spence did, and this may be because Terence Crawford had been analyzing Spence for years, and he had just been plotting on him for over 5 years. You know what I'm saying? So he was just more locked in on this guy. This was the fight that was his legacy-defining fight. This fight, he was more focused than ever. So I think Errol brought out a side of him that a lot of these guys weren't able to. Looking at the fight, the only round I gave Errol, in all honesty, was the first round. It looked like it was a little warm-up round for Terence Crawford. I just felt like he was popping his jab and just really analyzing Spence and seeing exactly what he was going to do. Errol came out with his jab as well. It was a good battle with the jabs in the first round. Errol came out jabbing with a sharp jab. And he landed some body shots. You know what I mean? It might have been partially blocked, but nonetheless, Errol was more active, so I gave him that round. Afterwards, it was just all Bud from there. His timing was immaculate. It was like whenever Errol would try to get a shot off, Bud would beat him to the punch. His jab was just extremely accurate and very heavy. It was busting up Errol's face early. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence couldn't really get that timing on that jab. He had trouble avoiding that jab. And because because Bud was so accurate with the jab, the power punches started following. And in the second round, the mistake that Errol made is that he overextended. He lunged in with his jab to the body. He was reaching. So because he reached, Bud teached. He threw the left hand. He missed the left hand, but then he followed right up with the jab. Textbook stuff, man. That's stuff that we work on in the gym. If you're overextending with your power hand, go right back to your lead hand. That's what Bud did, and he got the knockdown. That was more of a flash knockdown. I wouldn't really say Spence was hurt. He was off balance, and Bud took advantage of it. But I did think he was shocked with the idea of him being dropped, because I don't think Errol has ever been dropped prior to this in a professional fight. You know what I mean? So it was the first time for everything. But Errol was game the whole time, even when things were looking extremely bad until the stoppage. Errol, there was times where you could tell he was a little discouraged, but his stubbornness, his grit was just taking over. But Errol is a real warrior, man. He was willing to go out on his shield, and he even looked dissatisfied with Harvey's doc stopping the fight. You know what I mean? But that's just the warrior in him. You know, he want to go out on his shield just like any other warrior would. You know what I'm saying? But looking at the second knockdown, it was just him shooting in between Errol Spence's shots. You know what I'm saying? Bud went against the rope strategically to get Errol to open up, and as he opened up, he shot a short uppercut on Spence's chin on the inside, and it wobbled him. And as he was going down, he hit him with a hook. So to hit a fighter while he's going down, that's just a different level of accuracy. You know what I'm saying? And Bud just showcased that tonight, man. His timing, his accuracy, his power, his physical strength. He was even pushing Errol around at certain points in this fight. So his physical strength was on 10. His punching power was on 10. His hand speed, everything. His time, it was more of his timing than anything, man. That was the difference in this fight, and this is why he was hurting Errol consistently throughout the fight. And then looking at the final knockdown before the stoppage, he pretty much doubled up on the right hook. You know what I mean? He got him with the first one that stunned Errol, and then when he followed up with the second one again, that was a knockdown. You know what I mean? That was like left with like 7 seconds left in the round. He was able to get that off. So Errol went through the count, and then they went past the round. So the 8th round was just more punishment. 9th round, Errol throws a looping left hand, and Bud was definitely anticipating because he had his guard up high. He absorbed the shot through the high guard, and he was able to shoot right afterwards. So simple, beautiful catch and shoot by Bud Crawford. It stunned Errol again. His legs were wobbly. Bud saw the time to kill. You know what I mean? He stepped on the gas, and he was able to get the stoppage, man. So it was an immaculate performance by Terence Crawford. He made history. First male to be 2-time undisputed champion of the world in 2 different weight classes. Terence Bud Crawford, man. He made history, bro. He's going to go down as an all-time great just off of this accolade. He's, 40-0 now with 31 knockouts. An amazing record. 35 years old. 3 weight class world champion. And in 2 of the 3 weight classes he became champion in, he went undisputed. You know what I'm saying? So that just speaks volumes. A lot of fighters can't even say they went undisputed one time. He did it twice. And the only other person that did that was a female, Clarissa Shield. You know, she's dominating in her section. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Bud Crawford, man. You made me eat my words. I got no problem eating crow. You know what I mean? I am a fan of Bud Crawford as well. I just thought that Bud's volume, I thought Spence's volume and pressure was going to seal the deal tonight. I thought that was going to be the difference. But Bud was able to neutralize Spence's jab and come out with a more effective, stronger jab. You know what I mean? And Errol wasn't responding well to it. It didn't seem like he could really adjust. He couldn't really time Terence Crawford's attack. You know what I mean? So that's what really played the factor tonight, man. Bud's performance was A1. I believe he landed 60% of his power punches, and then just like overall punch selection was 50%, which is out of this world. You know what I mean? Because like there's like people they consider snipers like Erislandy, Lara, and Floyd Mayweather who were landing in the 48% to 50% like area. This man landed 60% of his power punches against Errol Spence Jr., bro, an elite level fighter. You know what I mean? And they're already coming out with excuses. Oh, he stood at the weight too long and he was weight drained. Bro, let that shit go. Give this man his props. Bud is #1 pound for pound, the best fighter in the world, hands down after this performance. I'm not a prisoner at the moment. This is the reality of the situation. So I don't want to hear nothing about Naoya Inoue being pound for pound #1. After this performance, bro, against Errol Spence Jr., who was unified world champion, one of the longest reigning welterweight champions of all time, for him to dominate Errol like that, after Errol done beat Top Guns and dominated at his weight class prior to meeting Terence Crawford, give that man his props, man. Give that man his props. His accolades are untouchable right now. His skill set is top notch. He's top tier. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest welterweights of all time. One of the greatest fighters of all time. Where you rank him, That just depends on who you talking to. You know what I mean? That's a totally different subject, though. Shout out to Terence Crawford. Shout out to EJ. Shout out to Errol Spence for putting this fight together. This is one of the most meaningful fights in the past decade. One of the biggest fights in the past 20, 30 years, man. I'm proud to say that I was able to experience this high-level performance from Terence Crawford. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next. If they do a rematch or something like that, or if Bud goes up to 154, pursues undisputed again. If he's able to get undisputed 3 times, now you talking like possibly the greatest fighter to ever box. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Time will tell. That was my post-fight reaction. I had to make a different video because the video that I was going to put out, I was completely in a different mindset. I was hype. My mind was all over the place. I wasn't thinking from a sound state of mind, so I had to settle down, calm down, and break down the fight. You know what I mean? From a peaceful state of mind, not like a hype one or just a calm state of mind. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to say. But shout out to everybody who's tuning into my videos, man. That's my thoughts on the situation. Let me know what y'all guys think of the fight and these guys' performances. Where do you rank Bud on the pound-for-pound list? Do you think Errol will be able to bounce back? Please let me know. This is Mazuma TV. Shout out to Mazuma Nation and the Mazuma Mob. I'm out of here. Peace.